Hi everyone, we're going to try this one more time. It seems to be the day for glitches and it's whatever. So I was taping this video just a few minutes ago and there was no sound. So hopefully it is working now. I did a test run and there was sound. So hopefully it's all working and we'll go for it. My name is Lillian and with Stampers Niche, and I'm coming to you from Alberta, Canada. And I'm just popping on with a project, sort of an add-on to a project I did earlier in the month. And many of you have asked for me to share how to do these cards. So let's just go down to my desk and get started there. And as you're popping on, make sure that you let me know that you can hear me, number one, and that all is good. So here we go. There we are. So this was the project we made December 11th, actually. We made it in a Facebook Live, and it was a big hit. And it was designed so that you could put little gifts in it, but it was specifically designed so that you could put a gift of cards in it, because we make cards, right? And it's just wonderful to be able to gift them to other people. People love to get them. And whoops, now I've got my sound on. Well, anyway, I know it's working. There we go. So when I showed you this here, I showed you that we used piece of 12 by 12 designer paper, and we used 8 1/4 by 12, so to here, for the basic bag. Then we used 1 1/2 by 12, 2 of them, for the handles. And then we used this section here. So what we had left was 2 1/4. So we just made it so that it would be square. So 2 1/4 by 4 1/2 and folded it in half. And that's how we made this little tag here, and then put some basic white inside. So that's what we did. But that means that we have this piece here. And I wanted to show that you could use every speck of this paper, and that's what we're going to use today. Just before we go with that, let me just show you the other bag that I showed. So this is just the same bag, just using different designer paper. And for this bag, I actually took Stampin' Up's note cards and envelopes, because they come already pre-cut and scored. And I made these cards to go in it. So this one here, so there's a square there, this one here, this one, and this one. And then we have the envelopes. So we're going to repeat these designs, but instead of being note cards and envelopes, we're actually going to make them a regular card. So either will fit in here. The note cards and envelopes fit beautifully in here. Let me just show you here. Just like that. See how they go in? I've been making little calendars. They fit in beautifully, all of that. But also the regular size cards will fit in here. So you're good to go with whatever. Now, I started this video a little bit ago and there was no sound. So I'm going to repeat some of it here so that you know what's going on. So this piece is 2 1/4 by 7 1/2. So this is the piece that was left. And when I cut this piece, I cut 2 squares, 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And that's what I used on these 2 cards here. So these 2 squares. So that's that. Then this one here is 2 1/4. So it's keeping the same width by 1 1/2, 2 1/4 by 3/4, and that's what I used here, and then flipped it over for this one. And then we were left with this piece here, 2 1/4 by 3/4, and that's what we used here. Hi Roz, I hope the sound and everything's coming through. This is my 3rd try. My internet quit the first time. There was no sound the second, and now this. So perseverance pays off. If I can see your comments and there doesn't seem to be an issue. So let's put these back. So now we're going to make regular size cards to fit in here. So the first card that we're going to case was this one here, and I actually made it before I found out I had no sound. So what we're using is, we're using a card layer that is 3 3/4 by 5, and then we're just making layers. So I chose to use Balmy Blue. So we've got Balmy Blue, Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy in this paper. And so my Balmy Blue is going to be 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Now, if you don't like the eighths, oh great, Rose, I'm glad, or Roz, pardon me, I'm glad the sound is fine. So maybe the third time's a charm here. Let's hope so. If you don't like the tiny borders, you could make it 4 by 5 1/4, and you've got room to do that. So it's either way. So that's how we got these two. Then I glued down a strip of Balmy Blue. I took that first square, the 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and layered it on Night of Navy. That was 2 3/8 by 2 3/8. So just a little bit bigger. This piece here is actually 3/4 of an inch by 3 1/2 inches. So 3/4 of an inch by 3 1/2. Then whatever size square you want to layer your 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 on. Then the stamp set that I'm using is called Days to Remember, and it's great because it's got happy birthday, it's your day, a day to remember. These are all things that would work well when you're gifting cards to somebody else, because those are sayings that they're going to use a lot. So we did that, and then we also brought in the gold and silver trim from the online exclusives. So on these cards, I use the gold, but on these cards, I'm going to use the silver. So, and then just some embellishments. So we made that card before we realized there was no sound. So we've got that one done. Now we are working on this card here. Move this out of the way. And we used the same paper, but flipped it over and used the Night of Navy side with these little flecks in it. Mounted it on Balmy Blue. Again, whatever increment you want to use. I used 2 3/8 square. And this piece of paper is the same as this. So that was 3/4 of an inch by 3 1/2. So that's where we were when we realized we had no sound. So now we're going to mount this onto the Balmy Blue. Just bring our glue in here. So it's just got a narrow border, and I like to use the liquid glue because then I can move it around and shift it around a little bit. So we've got it like that. Now we'll bring in our card base, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. So it's a half a piece of cardstock, and it's just like that. So you could put it straight down flat or on dimensionals. So I put that one on dimensionals. I'm going to do the same with this one here. So Roz, are you all ready for Christmas? We're basically ready here. We don't get too bent out of shape if we're not. So that's how it goes here. The family isn't coming until Boxing Day, so that's the 26th. We're actually going to celebrate it because it's their turn to go with the other side of the family. So we're going to have a pretty relaxed Christmas Day, and then Boxing Day is we might just all be in our pajamas. That's just how we might roll that day. So now we've got it layered like that, and we need a sentiment. So we're going to bring our scrap paper in, and we'll bring It's Your Day this time. And the Night of Navy ink. We're using Night of Navy on all of them. So these are really quick and easy cards to make because you don't need a ton of supplies. You can adapt it to whatever you have. And they just come together great. You don't need a lot of different colors of ink or whatever. This one I'm going to punch out with the 1 3/4 inch circle. Like that. And then we're going to put it on the card again. We're going to do the same feature with the ribbon. So I'm going to bring in the ribbon, and it's about 4 inches, but can be whatever you want. Well, maybe it'll be a bit more because that circle's a bit bigger. So this will be about 6.5 inches that I'm using here. But again, it's just whatever works for you. I'm just going to close my ink up because it's always dangerous to have an open ink pad, isn't it? So I'm going to also bring in a glue dot just to hold my ribbon together so it makes it easier to handle. What I like about using the glue dots is that it's also easy to reposition. If I've got it in the wrong spot, I'll just pull it apart and go for it. So I think I've got that a bit long. I might give it a bit of a trim. So let's see. Yeah, I think I'll bring in my little dish to catch my scraps. Like that. And I want to, yeah, that'll work just fine. So what I'm going to do now is not use my ribbon scissors, use my regular snips and just cut a strip off the edge and use it on the back to hold that in place. Then I'll put another couple of dimensionals on there just so it doesn't get saggy. Peel that off. So Roz, have you got the glass mat yet? I wasn't sure I would like it, and I am in love with it. Just wondering if you have it and what you think. So this is a bit long yet. I think I'll... There we go. So those of you who don't know what I'm talking about with this glass mat, this glass mat is something that people who sign up to be a demonstrator during celebration have the opportunity to get it for free. So just something to think about. Demonstrators for until a certain amount of time was gone, we were able to get it and give it a try. And you know, sometimes you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but I found that I am now hooked on this. I love demonstrating or working on it. I'm actually going to add a few more here, at least. Or am I? No, I'm going to leave it just like that. So there is the larger version of this card here. So we've got 2 cards done. We're going to bring in another card base, and we're going to make this card right here. And that means we're going to bring in these 2 pieces of designer paper. We're going to bring in some Misty Moonlight for this one, I think, just to give it a little bit of a try. Or we could use Old Olive. Which do you think? Old Olive or Misty Moonlight? I'll put it there so you can see both. Old Olive or Misty Moonlight. We're going to use both sides, so let me know what you think. Old Olive, Misty Moonlight. Nobody's chiming in. Yikes. Well, you can see that either would work, right? Should we live dangerously and go with Old Olive? Okay, let's see. I'm going to live dangerously and go with Old Olive. So this is going to go down on here. This is going to go like this. So that's going to go like that. That's going to, just a second. There we go. Sort of like that. So anybody there, it's last chance. Should we switch or not? Misty Moonlight, Old Olive. Getting my glue ready. Okay, we're going to give Old Olive a try. The other thing we have to remember is, do we want to go like that? Oh, I'm just not going to overthink it. But I am getting glue all over here. So we're going to flip that over and bring our silicone mat in and work on our silicone mat till we're ready to fasten that on. There we go. There's always a workaround, right? And there we go, like that. And then we're just going to glue it right down to the basic white layer. We'll use the grids to help us get everything straight. There we go. And then this is going to go on Balmy Blue, just like we've been doing all along. I think I need some more green glue. There we go. Excuse me, I am just going to go get a fresh green glue. I love my multi-purpose liquid glue, and I obviously have just about gone through all of it, but I always have spares. Here we go. Oh, that's coming out well now. So there we go, we've got it like that. Again, the narrow border. Everything is just sort of being repeated. Then we'll bring in our card base. And again, we'll use dimensionals on this. And a few in the middle so it doesn't sag. Oh, good to have you here, Irene. Merry Christmas to you too, and to everybody who's watching. There we go. So now we just need to add the words. So we're going to add happy birthday. Once again, we'll bring in the Night of Navy ink. Now I could have done this on a circle, or I could just cut it out as a rectangle. I could cut it out as a square, whatever. But if I've got the punch, might as well use it, right? And it's just so handy dandy there. So we've got that. And we're going to do the ribbon thing again. So we're just repeating the same elements over and over again. It gives continuity to the gift cards. There we go. And I'm going to just take a piece of the edge here. You can just tear it, and it's going to hold everything in place just like that. And okay, we'll go, I guess maybe I got it a bit wonky there. And And we're going to go like that. Now there again is the note card. Here is the regular size card. We'll just add some embellishments to this one. It could be your embellishments of choice, but these are just, I really, really love these embellishments. I think they're sold out now, but they're the adhesive back glitter sequins, so they're sparkly, but they're flat. That's what I'm liking about them a lot. So there we go. So the note card size, the regular card size. So already we have made 3 cards, and then this is the next one that we're going to make. So we're going to bring in our basic white layer. That's 3 3/4 by 5 again. And this is all the designer paper that we have left. So that's what I am going to use right here. And I've got some other pieces cut. So I've got this one cut here. So this is going to go here. This is 1 inch by 2 1/4. When I was designing these cards, I just winged it. It was sort of whatever scraps I had. So that was 1 inch by 2 1/4. This is 2 1/4 by 3/4. And this one here is 1/2 by 2 1/4 again. So these two are actually the same height. All right, and this is going to go here. So that's the plan. It makes it so easy when you've got something to work off of, right? When I first sat down to design these, I thought, oh, what in the world will I make out of these? But once I got going and stuck to my pattern, didn't try to get too fancy schmancy, it worked out pretty well. So I just have overlapped that a bit like that. And now I'm going to bring this, and it's going to be right in there. Like that. So now we just need our words. And like I said before, you could always emboss this now, or you could have embossed it before, but I am going for the simple route here. And this is a day to remember we're going to use here. So we'll bring in this one here, our Night of Navy ink. Give it a moment to transfer, and bring in our punch. Like that. And we will put it on here. And of course, we're going to add a bit of our ribbon before we do that. So let's bring our ribbon back in. And let's see. That looks pretty good. So we'll do just like we did last time and run the dimensional sides along. So we got it where I want it. Yep. Oop. There we go. We got it like that. And we'll put it on here. I think right about there looks good. And I'll do my layers before I do my embellishments. So we'll put it on the basic blue layer. Basic blue, balmy blue, pardon me. I've got basic white in my head. Just like that. And we will put it on a Night of Navy just to be consistent. But I did want to show you that if you wanted to go with the basic white, it would also look good. So you could go like that, and that way you wouldn't have to put a liner inside for people to write on. So that would, or you could alternate 2 on Night of Navy and 2 on basic white. So that would also be an option. But because we haven't done any others on basic white, we're going to stick with this. We will use our dimensionals just to be consistent again and make it look like a set. And a few for the middle. So we are basically ready. Some of you are, I think, ready for Christmas. And I'm sure you're looking forward to family time and that kind of thing. So there we go. We've got it like that. So we are going to bring some more of this in. Remember, the rhinestones would look marvelous as well. But we're going to throw a bit of this bling on. And I think a little one would just kind of the understated kind of look. There we go. So now we have made, let's move this out of the way. We have made the 4 cards that will be perfect for gift giving. Just add your envelopes, and do they fit? Let's give it a try. So here's our little bag. It's a snug fit, but they will fit just like that. And you could throw a bit of tissue in the top, and you've got a really neat hostess gift to give, or a little, just a little gift to give anybody or to use for yourself. So hopefully that has inspired you. Some great quick cards. Yes, they're very quick, Irene. So they're even quicker when you use the note cards and envelopes, but regardless, they're really quick. So they're fun to do. So thanks so much for joining. Have a wonderful holiday, and may it be blessed. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.